What's going on, world? What's going on, Japan? What's going on, Assassin's Creed lovers, Assassin's Creed, and Ubisoft lovers who are pissed off at Ubisoft? So we got a lot of news here today. One, first and foremost, is Ubisoft shooting down the rumor that Assassin's Creed Shadows could be further delayed as it explores sales of non-core assets. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into their stock taking another hit. We're going to get into how they spent 20 million euros on a delay of Assassin's Creed and why they did that and what are they going to be doing with that 20 million. So first and foremost, you had certain people, and Demian was one of them, saying that it could be further delayed. I didn't believe that because I need to see what they're going to say first. Um, if we look here, it says they shut it down. So that means that Ubisoft has until now, until mid-February, to fix the damn game. I don't believe that they can fully fix this game. There's just too many problems with it, but they could make it somewhat functionable and solid. I think the best chance this game has is to be a solid Assassin's Creed with a lot of content, and it depends on what they do, how much they're doubling down, and what they can do. They just did too much damage, I think, towards the Japanese culture, too much disrespect, and I just don't think they did this organically on themselves or by themselves. There was the Communist Party involved, obviously the liberals involved, with the Democratic far left involved, and nobody can convince me against that because this is what I understand and what I know. But sometimes you can't convince people of what you understand if they just don't want to listen. Two, they had the chance to have the most epic ninja game in a long time and one of the greatest ninja games ever made, with the Japanese being the male shinobi, as we know, because a female cannot be a shinobi. She's a kunoichi. And this just could have been so amazing because when you think about Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? Let's think about this title here, y'all. Assassin means assassinate, shadow art, and shadows. And then you think about Japan. Let's think about that triangle of assassin, shadow, and Japan. That's male ninja shinobi. We got plenty of samurai games. He just doesn't belong in the game. It's way out of place. And they screwed that opportunity up. So going down, it says Ubisoft's leadership quells concerns Wednesday that Assassin's Creed Shadows might once again be pushed on a release calendar amid going buyout speculation at the French video game giant. Ubisoft says the game was future complete. I don't agree with that. When it made a decision September 21st to delay Assassin's Creed Shadows from its planned November 15 release this year until February 14th, as the team was close to being launched, we wanted to make sure that the delivery of the experience was impeccable on day one. They're saying it like it's going to be the most epic thing, impeccable. No. Ubisoft Chief Financial Officer Frederick Duguet said during a company earnings call. So that was the purpose of the decision, Duguet said, adding the team now has good visibility for the game to be delivered with great experience by mid-February. So here we go again. Impeccable on day one, feature complete, and a great experience by mid-February. You have to say that because at this point they have to be confident. But those are rocky statements. Now, going over here, Ubisoft confident of avoiding further Assassin's Creed Shadows delay. First, they're shooting down the rumor. Now they're further confident, as you see in some of his statements he just said. We have a good visibility for the game to come on time and with great quality. So now we know that February is the release date. Right in Black History Month, all this nonsense that it's just ridiculous. Ubisoft has said it's confident of hitting Assassin's Creed Shadows' recent delayed release date. That just tells you a lot about DEI, all that nonsense. At the same time, it announced that it was departing from its traditional season pass model, canceling early access to the title, and granting players who pre-ordered the game its first expansion for free. This is something they're doing because they need this game to succeed. That's it. It's not because you want to be nice, no, because you realize we have to go this route. And then putting it on Steam. During Ubisoft's second quarter earnings call on Wednesday, the company was asked if there's a risk of it being further delayed. And that's where the corporate chief, as we just saw, we wanted to make sure the delivery experience is impeccable on day one. So we have a good visibility to the game being delivered with a great experience. Asked again if there's a chance of another delay, since we have a good visibility for the game to come on time and with great quality. Later in the call, Duguay said Ubisoft's decision to delay the game had been influenced by poor reception for Star Wars Outlaws, which wasn't as polished as it should have been and had underperformed commercially. I don't believe that's fully the case. We know this game was under fire. It would have failed. It wouldn't have succeeded whether Star Wars was great or not. Lie? No. On the back of what we saw with Star Wars Outlaws, we need to really make sure that we come with an impeccable player experience. There he goes with that word again on day one. Of course, there were always some bugs, but we've been focusing and we're continuing to focus on making sure that day one experience will be well optimized. Optimization is not the problem with this game, dipshit. Ubisoft has said that the Assassin's Creed Shadows delay, here we go, will result in an extra 21.7 million of development costs. Nobody was told about this. Following the game's delay, Ubisoft has attempted to play down concerns that Sony's recently revealed Ghost of Yote, an outwardly similar historical action-adventure game, also said Japan could eat into Assassin's Creed Shadows sales now that both titles are being released. If I were you, I wouldn't worry about that. You're releasing it next to Monster Hunter. I'd be worried about that. And he says, I would like to say there's a lot of space for very high quality games, and these two games can sell very well. Lol, that's funny. Now, going over to the Trent report, he's basically saying some of the same things. What we're going to do is we're going to go down to another reason why what he said about right here. So here's a highlight. As much as we've made the decision to postpone the release, the game will release on a broad range of platforms, including Steam at launch. Additional pre-orders will be refunded, and all pre-orders will grant the first expansion for free if you pre-order the game. Now, we read all this already. We know about this. We're going to get down to some other things when it comes to, yep, we just read that. I'm going to give you out to some more new information here. All right, cost of players an extra 20 million. Okay, appears to lend credence that the company is not just doing bug fixing and polishing, but could be making significant changes to the characters and the game story. So what I feel like they're going to try to do is move around some importance of Yasuke, make Naoi more dominant into the game if they're going to be doing that with the extra 20 million, because you're not going to just delay a game and spend 20 million. No, no, you're doing some things. They're changing some stuff in the game for sure. But that's why I wanted to say this with what I'm saying on top of that. So Tom Henderson said at Insider Gaming claimed that the polishing of the genre includes changing some of the Yusuke story. Think about this. And how he's portrayed in the game. Fixing architectural details. Yeah, because you were using AI and being cheap. You had a lot of Chinese AI stuff, a lot of Chinese implementations. So they had some historians come in there and they're bringing them on board to understand Japanese culture. And they're taking that 21 point whatever million to make the game as presentable as possible. Removing the Sekigahara stuff as we saw, removing that statue. So they're going to try to make things more presentable, double down to February, not because it's just Star Wars, right? That's a lie. And then they're going to show us what the game is really about. And then we can fully see what we have in front of us. That's the best thing they can do, I believe. So that's why I think this type of stuff is important so we can get some clarity here and ensuring that the game is historically grounded while fitting into the Assassin's Creed universe, which is what you should have done in the first place. And the historian should have been there day one. Should have been working with Japan. Henderson also added that the game is currently not at a stage it needs to be for release. And I'm told that there have been some tweaks to gameplay mechanics and elements that are going to take time to incorporate. Not only did he reveal these changes, but he also shared that Ubisoft was not as dedicated to historical accuracy as multiple developers have claimed. Henderson shared that historical experts were brought onto the project much later than usual for a project of this magnitude, and that miscommunication between teams and cutting corners when it came to the approval process of assets to meet deadlines resulted in many of the historical and cultural concerns that have been raised by gamers. 100%. He also indicated that Ubisoft's management had ignored their own developers who have been calling for a delay. He stated 7 developers working on the project said that they have been pushing for a delay for some time and that the situation had been heard at other studios and the companies. So that's what I wanted to highlight about that. The rest of the stuff is what Indemnion had to say. But we could look into this real quick by saying one of the things for sure getting removed from Shadows, according to my sources, is indeed rap hip hop music for Yasuke. Yeah, because he's from Africa in the 15th, 16th century, right? What the hell does that have to do with him? They don't even exist over here, what you see today. Hip hop and all that, which came in the 70s or whatever, that has nothing to do with East Africa in that time. It doesn't fit. So if you want to talk about racism, it's right there. Um, so you, because you're trying to put an African American subgenre, right? Or a Black American, because African American doesn't even make sense. You're trying to put a Black American subgenre of music um, onto a character who's from East Africa. I want y'all to think about this. Definitely in Africa and people over here who are being fake trying to defend him. He didn't have anything to do with you. And you weren't born in Africa, so Africans should probably be the ones who are upset. The only reason you should be upset is them using you to defend him when he has nothing to do with you. When he was made wrong, to disrespect the Japanese culture, who's given you so much. East Africa has not done anything for you, but Japan has done a lot for you. They've given you amazing childhoods, anime, amazing video games to grow up and play. And for you that disrespected Japan, you owe them an apology for trying to defend this nonsense. Because what have you done for Japan? Nothing. So rap hip hop being used to kill Japanese in armor that they should not be wearing, except on war in the city, having citizens bow to him, on top of putting a stolen product, forgot about that, from One Piece on him. So that means you steal, you kill, you invade other cultures in the name of hip hop and rap. Do you not get that picture that they were trying to paint? That's wrong. So for you to defend that is just buffoonery. You should be mad at them because it's not like some black person is making Yasuke. No, it's your enemies that are making him. See, Japan is not your enemy. The people who made him are the ones doing that. And you're easily victimized and brainwashed to get for the people who did this, not for the people who didn't do this, to get mad, get in your feelings, defend him. You don't even know him. He's not even alive. He's not real. This is a DEI version of him. And then you go on a rant and call Japan racist for wanting a real authentic Japanese game. Are you out of your mind? And then telling some of them to cope and, attacking them where it's like, you're out of your mind. They didn't do anything wrong. You're wrong for doing that. You're being victimized and you're defending nonsense. No, who you should be attacking is the individuals who are doing this. He's wrong. He's at a place that doesn't belong in the game. He should have been a side character with a side story, and they could have done it the right way, like he is in certain other video games where he exists. This is a small aspect of the game. He didn't do anything for Japan. The Japanese male should be representing his history. He's the one that is the richness of his culture. He's the heart of his culture. How's it wrong for him to want a game where he represents his culture? It's not an argument. It's an understanding. If they made Assassin's Creed Africa and used a Japanese male to represent that, do you know how much angry people would be about that in Africa? Or if they came to hip hop and said, let's, make a game where it's going to be high quality based off of ghettos, people getting out of the ghetto and living really good lifestyles. What if they used a Caucasian to do that? What if they used a Chinese to do that? Yeah, yeah. Don't be hypocrites. So it's not wrong to want a game that's based off of your culture to be represented by the male of that culture. It's been done in every other game. So people trying to make an excuse for that is absolutely ridiculous and just stupidity. So getting back to that, rap hip hop music for Suke. Apparently, Ubisoft brought out a questionnaire, and they were unanimously told that the rap music was totally wrong. It is. It's wrong. It's not. If you want to just think that it's just an opinion, you're confused and completely unneeded because there's clear right and there's clear wrong, and that it was actually offensive that Ubisoft believed Yasuke needed a hip hop ballad theme in a game that was set well before such music existed, and it was only implemented because he was black. Right? You can go to India and people have skin tone that is black. You can go to certain other cultures that are not African oriented or they're not older dark skin oriented that are Jamaican or any of that. Because there's some people that can have a certain type of skin tone, but they're not part of that culture. So that's why I say that colors don't belong to human beings. They belong to the creator. They've been there before you were created. So stop trying to make things about a color. It's just stupid. I believe that type of stuff is disorders that need to be cured. So that's going to be gone for sure, he declared. Should never existed. So who did that? They did. And they're not black. They're also going to be removing dialogue from the game that, according to my source, told me that it could actually enrage players if they heard it. I wasn't given concrete examples of what kind of dialogue, but the source assumed it may have been Yasuke saying some sort of socio-political pandering nonsense about he was sold by white man or something, and that he hates white man, and white supremacy must be abolished and such. You see, this should tell you a lot about the type of people that are running this. This white hate stuff is wrong again. First and foremost, the Portuguese who were Spanish are the ones who enslaved him. The Spanish Inquisition, which goes back to Rome. These are the Jesuits of Rome. They're not white. This is what I mean. This type of stuff. It's the same behavior again. You go and think about the far left Democratic Party. When you think about the Jews and the communist nonsense, where it's like the white guy is your enemy, and it's like, no, he's not. It's a bunch of bullshit. They're also removing this because, of course, if that were in game, it would absolutely be highlighted and used to detract even more people from supporting the game. Because this has nothing to do with a video game. This is just politics, invading the video game industry and causing a bunch of issues that should not ever be there. We want to deal with video game issues. You see? Not this garbage. Get it out of here. So that's the thing on that. Now, going over to the Ubisoft fiscal results, uh, Ubisoft's fiscal results, first half of 2024 and 2025 earnings figures. Uh, they had nothing but drop-offs, 19.6%, 21.9%, 26.5%, and 39.2%. These are all negatives. So it's not looking good for Ubisoft. And they want to strengthen that, obviously. So I'm not going to bore you guys with all these details. What we're going to do is we're gonna go down to the goody stuff on what they want to do and how they created this new program that got rid of 2,000 employees, because I kind of feel bad for it, but they had too many employees to begin with. It's right here. Cost reduction plan is what Ubisoft has made. The cost reduction plan that has the objective of protecting our production and creation capacity while being more selective in our investments and simplifying the organization is well on track. With the continued tight control on recruitments as well as targeted restructurings, the total number of employees worldwide stood at 18,666. Oh, that's a bad number. At the end, how's that a mistake? On September 2024 compared to 19,410 at the end of September 2023. This represents a decrease of more than 2,000 over 24 months. So they're trying to do this cost reduction program to save more money. Definitely considering how much they lost too with all the stupid stuff they've been doing. So if we look at the H1, this means the first half of the year, fixed cost base stood at around 770 million euros, down 46 million and 6% year on year. This represents a 106 million reduction costs for 2023 fiscal. For the first half, that was on the annualized basis. We already have achieved more than 200 million savings, including a favorable foreign exchange impact, meaning they're screwing over their employees. There remains work ahead of us to support robust cash flow generation, as we see on that. So that's the program that Ubisoft wants to implement that they're working on right now, uh, which we see that going on everywhere, right? Make more money, lay off more employees, though we've made stupid DEI woke decisions. So let's go ahead and do that and get the strike stuff going. But that's the heavy stuff to cover on Ubisoft lately to get y'all caught up on stuff. I have some more videos that I have too that I'll be releasing later on about what they plan to do with the Assassin's Creed series that I think is also ridiculous. But yeah, so there goes more professional coverage to get you guys some answers and to talk about some stuff. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if anything else comes up, I'll be letting y'all know. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a good evening, morning, night, wherever you're at around the world. I'm on vacation. I'm having a good time in Orlando, and we'll continue to be having a good time. So yeah, I'm doing this here. I left some stuff at the house, but I got what I need to record. All right, y'all. Peace.